maçın ardından bu arada Quartararo ve Toprak Razgatlioglu tabii ki.
No one inside the paddock expected Andrea Dovizioso to break his silence. He had observed Yamaha's V4 project quietly for months, offering only measured comments and technical notes. But then, during a calm afternoon in Valencia, he let out a single line that spread like wildfire across the MotoGP world. If Yamaha follows the direction Toprak wants, they will have a very dangerous package next year. Those words didn't just ignite debates, they reshaped the entire narrative surrounding Yamaha's future. Behind that sentence lay a story of pressure, hidden tension, and a rider who refused to follow the traditional rules of development. And as the rumors grew louder, a bigger, more staggering truth was about to surface. For months, Yamaha tried to keep their V4 project buried under polite phrases and vague statements. But behind closed doors, strain was building rapidly. Their once dominant inline-4 philosophy had reached a breaking point. Ducati, KTM, and Aprilia were redefining the sport, and Yamaha's old identity could no longer keep pace. Inside the factory, disagreements simmered. Some engineers insisted on preserving Yamaha's characteristic smoothness. Others argued that survival required embracing the aggressive V4 culture shaping modern MotoGP. Amid this internal unrest, Yamaha quietly brought one rider into the fold: Toprak Razgatlioglu. He arrived not as a rescue plan, but as a last hope. The atmosphere shifted the moment he stepped into the development program. He didn't ask about politics or philosophy, he simply asked one question: what do you need me to find? But no one expected what he would uncover on his very first laps. And just a few sessions later, telemetry from the prototype revealed something no one at Yamaha was prepared to see. Toprak approached the V4 as if he already understood its spirit. While most riders take months to adapt to MotoGP's engine braking and Michelin's demanding front tire, he adapted almost instantly. His braking zones were unlike anything Yamaha had witnessed from a newcomer. Telemetry confirmed it. He wasn't braking later, he was braking impossibly late. Engineers stared at the data in disbelief. Riders transitioning from superbikes often struggle, but Toprak seemed to translate the motorcycle's language instinctively. His control under heavy braking, his ability to rotate the bike, and his sense of front-end behavior all advanced in a matter of hours. But the real shock was how he reacted to the V4's early flaws. Instead of backing off, he pushed harder, forcing the electronics, gearbox, and rear grip to reveal their limits. Yet even this wasn't the moment that shook Yamaha. The true turning point came when Toprak pushed the prototype far beyond what the engineers believed was safe. The Valencia private test was meant to be a calm evaluation. Instead, it became a revelation. Yamaha had Toprak run multiple long-distance simulations, believing that fatigue would expose weaknesses gradually. But within the first simulation, the problems surfaced brutally. The acceleration out of slow corners was inconsistent. Rear tire grip fell off sooner than predicted. The electronics mapping acted differently depending on temperature. These weren't small issues, they were foundational weaknesses. Then came the aero comparisons. Package A stabilized braking but cost speed. Package B offered freedom in high gears but destabilized entry. Engineers scribbled notes, trying to understand how one rider was revealing more problems in a day than months of testing had shown. The test was chaotic. Engineers debated. Data piled up. But in the middle of the confusion, Toprak remained unshaken. And Yamaha soon discovered the one thing more surprising than the flaws he exposed: the way he responded to them. While the garage buzzed with arguments and doubts, Toprak sat quietly on his chair, helmet off, analyzing the bike with a calm that stunned the team. He didn't blame the machine. He didn't demand changes. He simply explained, clearly, precisely, what needed to be improved. Technicians listened in silence as he described sensations that usually take riders months to articulate. His feedback wasn't emotional, it wasn't dramatic. It was the mindset of someone who saw the V4 not as a machine to tame, but as a partner evolving alongside him. Within days, the dynamic inside the test team shifted. Trust began to form. The engineers saw that he wasn't just fast, he was reliable, methodical, and brutally honest. Yamaha's philosophy, long defined by smooth riding elegance, was being reshaped by a rider who thrived on controlled chaos. But that harmony didn't last long. A single test run was about to ignite a dispute inside the garage. The rift began quietly. A group of engineers favored developing the bike toward Yamaha's traditional corner-flowing identity. Another group argued that the sport's evolution demanded embracing Toprak's aggressive style fully. Then Yamaha conducted comparison runs between test riders. The results weren't close. Toprak's data showed a completely different potential for the V4. His braking entry speed, rotation stability, and corner entry confidence were not only higher, they broke internal projections. Some insiders whispered that the bike looked like two different prototypes depending on who rode it. That single revelation deepened the garage divide. Aero direction, electronics philosophy, even chassis stiffness became subjects of heated internal debate. And then came the rumor that spread around the paddock. Yamaha was considering reorganizing its crew chief structure around Toprak's development approach. But the dispute was about to shift again because Toprak wasn't done surprising them. Late in the afternoon, with the track cooling and the sun dropping, Toprak went out for another simulation. This time, something changed. The stability that had eluded Yamaha earlier in the day suddenly appeared on the data. The gearbox adjustments smoothed out acceleration. The high-speed corners showed a level of consistency that engineers hadn't seen since the project began. For the first time, the numbers didn't reflect limitations, they reflected potential. Whispers spread among the staff. Was this the moment the V4 finally woke up? Had the latest electronic calibration unlocked something deeper? The team looked cautiously optimistic, but they all sensed the same thing. This was no longer a struggling prototype. It was the beginning of a weapon. Still, nothing prepared Yamaha for the explosion that followed after the test. Andrea Dovizioso, known for his calm and careful commentary, finally spoke, and the paddock listened. He highlighted Toprak's rare instinct to adapt instantly, praised his braking mastery, and hinted that Yamaha had found a rider who could shape the future of the V4 project. But it was one sentence that sent shockwaves across MotoGP. If Yamaha follows Toprak's direction, they will have a dangerous package next year. Within hours, social media erupted. Rivals took notice. Fans debated whether Toprak was the missing link Yamaha had waited for. And inside the team, the comment carried far deeper consequences. Because behind closed doors, Dovi's words forced Yamaha to make a decision they had avoided for months. The V4 project was no longer an experiment. Yamaha committed fully. Funding adjustments, engineering resources, and internal restructuring all shifted toward a Toprak-centric philosophy. For the first time in years, Yamaha embraced a more aggressive development culture. They moved away from conservative thinking and stepped into a future where risk was unavoidable. Insiders whispered that 2026 could be a historic turning point, not just for Yamaha's performance, but for their identity. Yet even as momentum grew, one question refused to fade. Across the paddock, eyes focused on Yamaha. But beneath the excitement, several unresolved problems remained hidden from public view. Rear tire grip management was still inconsistent. The electronics occasionally reacted unpredictably under extreme lean. And the engine's high-temperature behavior demanded more refinement. Sponsors quietly pressured the team. Rival manufacturers monitored the progress closely. Yamaha knew the truth. Potential alone wasn't enough. They needed evolution fast. And just when the development seemed stable, the project delivered one final twist. Every lap Toprak completed in Valencia pushed Yamaha toward a future they could no longer avoid. His riding style forced the V4 to evolve. His mentality challenged the team to change, and his feedback shaped the very DNA of the machine. Yamaha now stands at the crossroads of glory and risk. If they succeed, the V4 could redefine the next era of the brand. If they fail, the gamble could cost them years of progress. But one thing is certain, Yamaha has started something far bigger than a new motorcycle. They have begun rewriting their identity, and the world hasn't seen the full story yet.